From the heart of London to the Highlands of Scotland, the UK welcomes thousands of international medical graduates to help shape the future of its healthcare.
If this is the first time you're checking out our channel, welcome. Basically what we do is we run a website that's totally free known as roadtok.com, and it will explain the ins and outs about everything related to the United Kingdom and what it takes for you to work as a doctor in the NHS. So if you've not already, please stalk us on all of our social media. Find us on Facebook, find us on Twitter, Instagram, and of course, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe.
Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Ibrahim, your go-to guide from Road to UK about all things related to practicing medicine in the United Kingdom. And today we are here for a very crucial topic relating to international medical graduates who comes to work in the UK on a skilled worker visa. And the topic is indefinite leave to remain. In short, we call ILR, which is equivalent to the PR or permanent residency or green card in the USA. Before we start, if you're not subscribed to our channel already, please hit that subscribe button and notification bell so that you don't miss anything that we come out with. Imagine this. This is your 5th year working in the United Kingdom. You've been working tirelessly, contributing to the healthcare, traveling across the country for the purpose of a new job or training, exploring the culture, exploring the country, making new friends, and now you want to settle down. You want to make the UK your forever home. That is where ILR comes into play. And in this video today, we'll reveal exactly how you can secure this ticket. So what's in store for you in this video? We'll give you a clear understanding, firstly, about what is ILR and why it's important to you as an international medical graduate on a skilled worker visa. Secondly, the way you can obtain it, the whole application process, when should you apply for it and when you become eligible, and the other eligibility requirements around indefinite leave to remain. Walk you through the application process as well, where to apply, how to apply, what kind of information you need before you make the application. And finally, some tips and tricks regarding the whole process from our own experience. So let's start at the beginning. What is this indefinite leave to remain, or so it's commonly called ILR? Well, simply put, ILR is an immigration status. It's an immigration status that's giving you the right to live and work in the UK without any time limit. So you might be asking, why is it important for me? Why is it important for international medical graduate? Great question. Because when you are international medical graduates coming to the UK on a skilled worker visa, which is the work visa for the United Kingdom, you have an employment that is tied to your visa. That means you cannot live or work without a specific employment or specific employer sponsoring you. So you are basically tied to your job for the purpose of your visa. But once you have that ILR, that is gone. You are free to choose where you want to work or whether you want to work or not. And at the same time, your staying in the UK is no longer tied with your employment. And obviously, ILR will lead to British citizenship if that's what your goal is. Now on to the requirements for ILR. So there are several ways you can obtain ILR, but for the purpose of this video, and I believe majority of our viewers of this channel are international medical graduates who are already here or planning to come here. So the one pathway that we will discuss and explore is the pathway through Tier 2 skilled worker. So Tier 2 visa, skilled worker visa, health and care worker visa. So anything related to that, which is skilled worker visa, and how in that pathway you can obtain ILR. There are different others visas which leads to ILR as well. If you are interested to know, you can check the gov.uk website, like how we can obtain an ILR. But for Tier 2 or skilled worker visa, which all of the international medical graduates are in, there are two broad categories of criteria that you have to fulfill. One is related to the stay in the UK and your work related. Another is related to your knowledge. So the first is you have to stay and work in the UK for 5 years continuously in the United Kingdom on a skilled worker visa. So there might be some breaks or changes of your visa, as if when you change from one employer to another employer, obviously you changed your visa, but you see on the background, you had a skilled worker visa, and that is what it counts. But if you had changed from a dependent visa to a skilled worker visa, that's completely separate. So it will be count towards your skilled worker visa. If you want to get your ILR on a dependent visa, as I said earlier, it's a separate route, which details are already in the gov.uk website. But if you want to get on a skilled worker visa, it will be count on the time that you have spent. If it is 5 years, then the time fulfilled. Another thing is you have to be continuously needed for the last employment that you are in, that you're applying in right now. So you might be currently approaching your 5-year stay in the United Kingdom, but your current visa is still valid for another year. But you can still apply for ILR because your whole duration on a skilled worker visa is approaching 5 years. So your current employer will have to give you a letter, which we'll discuss in the next section, about what are the paperwork required that you are continued to be needed for this employment, and that the letter is needed. So these are your work related requirements. The second one is your knowledge of language and life in the UK. So you have to pass a test which is called Life in the UK. It's an MCQ based exam. In a later video, we would come out with how to prepare for it and what this exam is all about, but not today. So keep our channel subscribed and that notification bell so that you get notified when our next video is out. Oh, there is another requirement that I forgot to mention, is the salary requirements that you have to meet. But to be honest, the salary requirement has been lowered to a yearly salary of 25,600, which is far below what the minimum salary of an FI1 or FI2 level doctor is. So I don't think any international medical graduates who are coming to work as a doctor in the NHS will not meet the salary requirement. But that's where you have to think about. If you have been gone on less than full time, they wouldn't have let you go less than full time where your salary requirement would go that low. So you would be safe from that anyway. So anyway, this requirement will be all fulfilled if you're working as a doctor in the United Kingdom. Now let's move on to what paperwork and the timeline of your application for this ILR. As I talked about it earlier, a bit about what type of visa you're in. So remember, you have to be on your own skilled worker visa to be eligible for ILR on the skilled worker visa route. If you have been on a dependent visa and then changed on a skilled worker visa, your clock has been reset and you will start from when you have gotten your skilled worker visa. Your time spent on a dependent visa will not be counted towards your time spent on the skilled worker visa. So I hope that's clear. If you have any question related to this, feel free to ask in the comments below and we'll discuss over there. But let's go back. So skilled worker visa starts when you first got a job in the United Kingdom. Say you got a job and the employer sponsored you with a certificate of sponsorship. And when you applied from your country, the UKVI, Visas and Immigrations, gave you a VNA, which is like a sticker on your passport, which gives you a 1 month to come to the UK on a skilled worker or tier 2. I think right now it's called skilled worker visa, and it will mention your certificate of sponsorship number on it. So once you cross that immigration, there will be a seal on that, like this is the first day that you have entered to the UK on a skilled worker visa. So the earlier you start, you can plan to come on that VNA, the earlier your clock is starting. So from that point that you enter to the UK on the skilled worker visa, doesn't matter when you collect your BRP, does not matter when your BRP was issued, it matters when you enter to the UK on the visa. 5 years down the line, that is where you fulfill the criteria if of all those 5 years you have been under skilled worker visa. I hope that makes sense. So when can you apply? So you can apply 28 days prior to that 5-year fulfillment. So say for example, if you fulfill your 5-year in, like say 30th of July, in 30th of July you entered, so 5 years plus 30th of July it will be fulfilled, you can apply from 2nd of July onwards any day to make that application and submit that. So you have to plan ahead. Before that, you have to think about how much money is required to apply for this ILR application, what other exams that you have to pass, what other paperwork you have to obtain, so that by the time it's 28 days, you are ready to apply with everything in hand. So go back to the paperwork. So as I said earlier, one of the requirement is a statement or a letter from your employer that you are continue to require for this current employment. Every trust in the NHS will have a template. All you have to ask the HR department that I'm applying for an ILR and I need a letter from you guys that I'm needed for this employment. They have to mention your salary, they have to mention your details and everything, name, address, and all the other stuff. Then they just have to sign the letter that you are continued for this employment. So that's one evidence. Other evidences that you will require is the evidences for your absences from work. As I said, your skilled worker visa is tied to your employment, so you have to prove the time off from your work. So it could be time off related to anything: annual leave, sick leave, even unauthorized leave, unpaid leave, any leave that you have taken from all of your employments. You have to get a letter from them stating the dates and duration and the nature of why you were off from that period. So if you have changed jobs quite frequently in the last 5 years, so you have to plan ahead and you have to contact those HR departments in time so that that can give you a letter stating your employment. It should be recorded in their system because every hospital has a rostering system, so they will just have to know your name and date of birth. They will be able to find the dates that you are off from work. So they should give you a list on a letter saying that these are the dates that you are off, took annual leave or sick leave or unpaid leave, and you have to collect evidences from each and every trust that you have worked. Secondly, you also have to collect all the times that you have spent outside and where did you go and what was the purpose. So if you have visited a lot of countries, even if it's for tourism, even if it's going to your home country for a short visit, like 1 day, 2 day, you have to have that record. So you don't have to provide evidence for that, but you have to mention in the application, the online application itself. So I would advise start collecting this data from your email, that all the tickets that you purchased, or the stamps. If your passport has stamps of in and out of in several countries, then collect all the data of you have spent outside the United Kingdom. Like even if you went to Turkey, for example, for 2 days, you have to have that information. Like this day I went outside the UK and that day I came back to the UK, and in this time I visited Turkey and that was for tourism. So you have to provide all the details of you being outside the UK on the application. And finally, you have to provide them with your latest salary slip, which you can get from your electronic staff record in the NHS, or if you get the physical copy, you have to scan it. And that amount of salary that going into your bank, you have to provide that specific bank statement, which shows that this salary is going into your bank account. So last 1 month bank statement and last salary slip. So these are basically you have to provide your BRP as well. You have to take your passport to your application center. So this is the requirement of paperwork that we have just discussed to apply for ILR. So as I said, when you're planning for your application, the timeline is you cannot apply before 28 days, within 28 days of fulfilling your 5-year stay in the United Kingdom. So you make the application online, you fill up this online form, which is a long form, and if you have a long travel history, you'll have to spend some time identifying which days you went out, which days you came back to the UK, and what you did in between, which countries did you visit. And after your application, you have to pay the fees for applying for ILR is £2,404. So it's a lot of money. You can pay with a credit card or debit card, but you have to think about managing this money as well. £2,404 per person as of the day of making this video. And if you want to get it expedited, because the standard application takes 6 months for you to hear back, and if you pay £500 extra, you can hear back within 5 days. So that's the fees. So once you make this application, they will provide you with a document checklist, which will have all the things that we have talked about. And then you will have to also book an appointment to the nearby biometric center organized by Sopra Steria with the UK VCA's website. So you make an appointment, you might also have to pay for that depending on where you're booking, starting from 138 to 230 pounds of that appointment booking. On that UK VCA's website, there's a document upload service as well, where you can upload your own documents, or if you want to buy the document upload service, you can take your documents and they will scan it for you and categorize it for you. Completely up to you. But we uploaded our own documents, so we didn't have to buy anything extra other than just booking the appointment fee. So we went in that day, the appointment, with our passport and everything. So they scanned our passport, took our photos, took our biometric, and that's it. So that's the day that you have submitted your application. That's the day the clock will start. So if you paid 500 extra when you made the application, you will hear back from UKVI within the 5 days that your application has been successful or not. That's it for the video today. I think a bit long discussion about the whole process, but I believe that I gave you an idea about what's in store and how to plan and what kind of paperwork you will need. If you have any questions, as I said earlier, you can always ask in the comment below, and there will be some links and related videos or articles linked in the description box below, so be sure to check it out. And at the same time, as I said, the next video we will cover how to prepare for the Life in the UK test. So be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we come out with that video. Up until then, thank you for watching. And if you have not liked us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, do that and have a nice day. Thank you.